Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Mikhail Peters. I definitely was not expecting to record another video today, but I feel like I left this off on such a negative note that I'm going to try to be more positive today and talk about all the things I'm thankful for and kind of address some things. And I started thinking also about the fact that I'm very proud of the fact actually that like a lot more women have started watching my channel and are commenting and are very engaged. So like, thank you. Really, thank you to that. But I understand my following is predominantly male. And there's this whole stereotype about men are always like trying to fix problems. And I get that, but it's sort of like my friend says, sometimes when somebody starts talking, I'll be like, are you looking for a solution or are you looking to complain? And I would say it's both, right? Because it's like, I do want a solution. It's just the issue is maybe I'm being picky and not very appreciative of the solutions that I have, right? So today I want to focus more on gratitude and what that's going to look like for me. And, even though this sucks, it's kind of like diamonds are made under pressure, right? It's like this kind of thing. So it's like I've been very successful because contrary to what my family may think, there has been a lot of pressure on me. Now, I joke all the time, all I want is for my kid to be happy and literally be a janitor, like the guy I mentioned in the Psychology of Money, who just became like one of the first philanthropists because he invested all his money into blue chip stocks and then donated it when he died and he had no family. And I'm like, honestly, that's cool. So, just do whatever you want, do whatever makes you happy. And like, there are things that I appreciate, like, even though I may feel controlled, right? How do we know this is not my perception? So, or my family being really concerned about my well-being and wanting me to not repeat their mistakes. Again, not my problem. I'm an adult, and this is still really hard for me to accept because sometimes I feel like an infantilized child, right? Because a lot of people feel this way. It's, has to do with, like, enmeshment. I was reading some psychology article about this yesterday, but whatever. So despite the fact that maybe things are not going the way I want to, I still have to appreciate the fact that my family loves me and wants what's best for me, even if it doesn't always align or coincide with what I feel is best for me, right? And the unfortunate reality is you're living with yourself every day. You're living inside your head every day, and whatever you need to do to kind of, I got advice from somebody today, like tunnel vision that to like get to where you need to go, where you feel like you need to go, things that you can control, write it down in this little circle, and then things out of it that you can't control. I'm actually going to do this exercise. I thought that was a really good suggestion. Nobody's ever given me before, so shout out. Yeah, but I have accomplished a lot of great things, and because in some ways my family has been very supportive, right? Like, I wasn't, like, kicked out at 18. I got to travel the world. I had grandparents who started traveling with me at a very young age. I had an aunt and uncle living abroad who I got to visit a couple times at a very young age, and, I've seen the world. I've learned foreign languages. I've become fluent in a foreign language, which is more than, like, most Americans can say, really. It's kind of interesting because I'll talk to a lot of Americans who are, like, a lot of my friends, actually, because the thing I have in common with my American friends is a lot of the issues I have. Well, a lot of them are like very like, driven, like high achievers, like, feel very like type A kind of thing. And I think that, like, a lot of them have a lot of like fear around leaving the US, like in like just for vacation, because they don't like know what it's like and they think it's like dangerous or something. I was actually talking to somebody about this today because we're talking about different places in the US, and she's like, what about these states? I'm like, those are dangerous. I've been there. I'm not living there. I'm like, there are really big drug problems there. Like, and then you can get into like, like county by county and like city by city, but I'm like, how we know, like, where we live, like, these couple of cities are bad and you don't really want to live in there because, drugs and other shootings, whatever. It's kind of like that, even though, like, I am saying our area is getting very gentrified, but that's because we're close to New York City. So, yeah, there's all that. And I know people are also saying, like, you can go wherever and bring your mom with you. I don't think so. Like, I want to be clear on this. Like, my mom is more successful than me if we're going to look at this strictly in terms of finances, honestly, which is pretty interesting because she has no college education. She was never a career woman, right? And she is like in charge of a salon. She wins the best managed salon across the country like a couple years in a row now. And like, she really like is committed to her job. Okay, so like I can't remove her from her job. And I'm also getting to a point where it's like my mom's getting really upset that I don't want to make certain decisions about where to live, and there's a lot of reaction to this. So, I know on one hand that means she loves me, but on the other hand, it's sort of like you need your kid to do what's best for them, even if it means leaving you. It's sort of like if you love something, set it free. I say this a lot. So, again, it's like, I really am appreciative that my family loves me so much and they like want to see me like do what's best. One of the issues my mom has with moving away is I'm not like married and don't have a life like somewhere else, and my life is still here. I always say your life, somebody told me this, I'm stealing this quote and I can't remember who told me, your life is wherever you are at the moment. So like, yes, I've moved around, I've been a lot of different places, and my life is just full of these places and full of these people and full of these different experiences. So like, where I am is not necessarily my life. I have a life in all the places I've been. Like, that's true. I still feel like if I were to go to Kyrgyzstan, I have a life there. I still feel like if I were to go to Armenia, I have a life there. I still have a life in Finland, even though I'm not there right now. And some of these other places where I know people, there's a little bit of a life there too, even if it was just a quick vacation. It's actually why I don't like quick vacations. I rather go back to each of those places I just listed because I lived there and I did have more of a life there. It's really hard to meet people in passing when you're just traveling. So I'm not like a big just like tourist person. I'm like a traveling with a purpose person. Or if I go on trips with people I really like some of my BFFs. It's kind of different too. Okay, but whatever. I'm digressing here. So, I'm very fortunate with the things that I've been able to accomplish, that I, did well in school, that I got a bunch of scholarships, that I had scholarships that enabled me to live in different places and really like discover myself and become more self-aware and all that. And that throughout that, my family didn't be like, we're going to throw you out in the middle of doing all this. Well, it was like a really weird hair. I have no idea where that came from. The dog. I don't know. The dog's on my lap. Let's do puppy picture. So cute. Okay. Anyway. He was kind of relaxing. So yeah, I mean, it's just like my mom moving somewhere with me is not an option. Also something like I'd like to spread cultural awareness about is Italian Americans. Sorry, my brother. Okay. Italian Americans are very into like New Jersey, and like there's a lot of like weird like generation below the ones who came from Italy pride in New Jersey, and my mom is one of these people. It's very important to her. She told me how important it was to me growing up, and my one Finnish friend makes fun of me for having this, and I'm like, my mom ingrained it in me, being Italian, it's important. Why? I have no idea. We don't speak Italian. Don't ask me, because it doesn't make sense, but it's an emotional thing. As most emotional things are, they don't make logical sense. So, yeah, I had this debate with my mom yesterday. No human decisions are ever driven by logic, because humans are by nature illogical, which it discusses in the Psychology of Money book, and the objective is to behave as rationally as possible. So yeah, I'm very appreciative that this dog is still alive, and he's literally been with me my whole life throughout my whole childhood, and hopefully he'll be alive for at least one more year. I hope he's getting really skinny. It's kind of concerning. I'll try to take him for a walk today, because that's what I like to do with him every day. And I have these couple trips coming up, so we're gonna be separated. Oh no, I don't like it. Okay. I don't really know what else to add here, just that, I need to be more positive. I think because right now it's just I'm very stressed out about the situation. It's pretty hard for me to think about anything else. What I might do is start doing a series of the impression series. I do them in Russian, but maybe I'll start doing them in English, so I can talk more about my travels and my experiences and less about the stupid, repetitive, cyclical thoughts that are going on inside my mind, because people come at me very much like there's a solution that needs to be done for this, and it's no, sometimes you just need to accept that that's how it is and then try to change the situation for the better. And that's all stuff that I need to do on my own. I can't have my audience being I'm gonna do that for you, because you're not. And random people are offering me to come live with them. I don't know you. That's a safety concern, so thanks but no thanks. Sorry, you have to think about that. As much as I have to protect my safety while I'm traveling, I do have to protect my safety through this channel with some of these invitations I get, let's say. So, it's just the reality of this kind of situation. But yeah, and then I get a lot of things where they're you should do a separate channel for the English and Russian videos. No, because it's more work for me. First off, this is really a pure side gig. Second off, the reason I would not do that is, besides not all being in one place, is because a lot of the Russian people, there are a lot of Russian bilingual people, especially the ones who live in the US, who I know watch both of them. So that doesn't really make sense either. I'm going to direct them to two different places. Maybe if my channel was a lot bigger at some point, but to me that just doesn't make sense. So, I don't know. I think it's going to be okay. You know, I've talked to a bunch of friends who have kind of encouraged me, like, one way or another with what to do, and that's been really insightful. It's been, like, you know, like, going somewhere where I feel supported, and if that's going to be with my grandparents, okay, so be it. And you just have to, like, stand up to your parents and be like, I'm not doing the thing that you're telling me to do, and you're going to have to get over it because I'm an adult. And, like, that's really uncomfortable for me because I've never in my life not done what my parents wanted me to do. I was trying to think of a time when I did. And I can't think of one. Still can't think of one. Okay, well, I guess that's a lesson, or a lesson. It's a goal of mine to try to think of a time when I blatantly defied my parents. Usually it's more of like I'll just hang up on the phone if there's some screaming involved. It's not really disobeying. That's just, again, boundary setting. They don't like that either. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay, so gonna try to be more positive, feel refreshed after these vacations, and try to talk about them, and then talk about some other like topics that are interesting and not just related to me being stressed out about housing, because that's just going to be a problem until I pack all the crap and move it in this thing that I'm avoiding. I'm going to try to systematically do that today. God, I don't want to, but I will try. All right, so that's everything, and I'll see you guys after my vacation. I'll try to do at least one video that week, but that week might be a little bit rough too, so let's see how it goes. Because I'll be coming back from actually taking time off work, so I don't know what that looks like because I've never done that. All right, that's why people don't take off work in America. All right, and until a couple weeks from now, bye.